Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right. Wow. Hearty good morning to you. I had to clear my throat right away. That was a broadcast. That was a rookie mistake right there. Always clear your throat before the red light comes on, you moron. Good morning to you. That's Friday, right? That's the way we're going to get it started. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, IndyCar Tim from our DSP affiliate in Dallas. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Good morning, everybody. It's a good sports day. We're going to have a good sports talk today.
You got energy today. I'm getting early morning texts. I mean, yeah. you are ready to go. Your face you got good lighting today. I think the beard's been trimmed. I mean, what's going on here?
You know what? I had a random girl.
Shaved. I didn't know you were showing up so pretty today.
I had a random girl message me on Instagram. Has followed me forever, I guess. I don't know, for like 5 years. Texted, "Hey, I just got a job at a barber shop up the street from you." And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, wait, how do you know where I live? She goes, "I want to trim your beard. I need practice. I want to trim your beard for free." And I was like, all right, where do you work? So she messaged me the information.
Answer to that is always yes.
And she was hot. So I'm like, hells yeah. Going down, I got a free beard trim and a date out of it, man.
Wow. Well, see what happens when you get on the JP Peterson show? My God, magic just starts happening all over the place.
She might be a stalker, though. I'm not sure.
Well,
we'll figure it out.
Sometimes that can be a positive.
I'll take it.
Sometimes a negative, but sometimes a positive.
I'll take it.
All right, we got lots to do today. We're gonna have, as Tim mentioned, lots of fun. We got a lot of good topics to get to. Steve Carney's going to join us, Rays Insider, talk a little Rays baseball. They're on a roll. It's like 2 out of 3 from the freaking Twins, a really, really good baseball team. So signs of life from the Rays we will discuss. And, of course, it took a destruction of a little stool in the batting cage by Pete Fairbanks, which we'll hear from the great Pete Fairbanks here in just a little bit. So we'll talk some Rays baseball with him. Emily Peters is going to join us. She's an FSU insider on the FSU baseball team and the effect of the Tampa Bay mob that has infiltrated the FSU baseball roster. They have a direct conduit to the Jesuit baseball team, which is winning state championships. Gary Sheffield's son, who played for them, is now on his way to FSU as well. So we'll check out the future and the recent past of this incredible FSU baseball season. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the overall baseball. I was reading an article in The Athletic on how bad the offenses have become in baseball and how rapidly it has declined in 1 year. In 1 year, we're going to have 800 less home runs league-wide, 600 less doubles. I mean, you think inflation's bad. This is the other part of it. This is deflation in offense in baseball. And it's interesting because we had Matt Joyce on the show, I think, before the season. And I asked Matt, I was like, looking at these pitchers these days. And what I said, you broke in, I think Matt broke in maybe 16 to 20 years ago in Major League Baseball. I said, how much harder has it become to hit in Major League? He said, it's impossible. He basically said, the pitchers are just so much better than they've ever been. And in this article by The Athletic, it details spin rates, velocity, power, scouting, being able to know exactly where the cold zones are on each pitcher. And basically, this is a lot of what the Rays perfected a few years ago and why their pitching has been so good. And this is also kind of a why everybody else is caught up to the Rays now. The Rays were the smartest pitching team in baseball, and they were using multiple arm angles to create spin and create the exact pitch that's going to be the best pitch against said batter. Their analytics were off the charts, and now everybody has kind of coalesced into this type of information, and it's killing offense in baseball. It's just killing offense in baseball. We thought with the shift being removed that baseball's offense averages would go up 15, 30 points. Remember we talked about that?
And the pitch clock.
And the pitch clock and everything. Yeah. And it's like, no, it's gone exactly the opposite way. And if you look at the graphs on velocity, spin rates, and where they are now compared to just 3 or 4 years ago. It's dramatic. It is absolutely dramatic. So baseball's got a real problem because we're used to seeing a lot more offense, and it's never been worse than it is right now. And I would have to say, I watch Rays games. The Rays are and the Rays are the poster child for this. They've gone from one of the best offenses in baseball to one of the worst in overnight, and it's basically a lot of the same dudes. So it's a huge concern. If you're a Rays fan, it's really big concern.
So, are you a Rays fan or are you a baseball fan? What would you consider yourself?
Well, that's a more complicated question.
So you don't watch a baseball game unless it's the Rays. You won't just sit down on a Saturday or Sunday and watch a random Giants-Cardinals game in the National
I hate to say this, Tim. I can't remember. Well, I can't remember the last regular season baseball game I watched. I may have watched some postseason full games. I definitely have. But a regular season game not involving the Rays? No.
So what about postseason? Will you watch the playoffs?
Some, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I won't, it's not appointment television for me. Baseball to me is a tough watch. It's a tough watch. First of all, anything that I don't have an emotional attachment to is kind of a tough watch to me.
Okay.
But baseball, just in general, I will not sit and watch like a Yankees-Orioles game last night that ended up 17-5. Mm-hmm. The Orioles just destroyed them.
Well, you want offense.
Yeah, that was, the Orioles don't seem to have any problem.
No.
But no, I don't.
Okay. So I consider myself a baseball fan, right? Obviously I'm a Rangers fan. But I mean, I'm the guy that will on a Saturday afternoon, if it's on, sit down and watch a freaking, Royals Red Sox game or a Mariners D-backs game. Just totally irrelevant teams to me, that I don't give a crap about. But I will sit down and watch them, and I will tell you, because you're telling me that baseball, the scoring is down, the offense is way down. Major League Baseball has a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, really? I think the real baseball, and I don't know how many real I'm probably in the minority now that I say this out loud, but dude, I prefer a 2-1 pitching duel over a 10-8 offensive juggernaut. I would much rather sit here and watch a 2-1, 1-0, tied at 0 going into the 8th. I would much rather watch that game than a 10 to. Now, if I'm there live, it's a lot more energy if you're watching home runs. But I will also say, if you're there live, there's a lot of energy in a pitching duel too, because every time there's a strikeout or an out 3 with a guy on third, dude, that's energy, dude. The crowd gets up and cheers just as much as if there's a home run hit.
Yeah.
And
well, you want drama. You want drama. You want a close game. That's to me is close baseball games are great for the pitching and the defense, and every it magnifies every pitch, especially if it's a postseason game. I dig that. Yeah, I can dig that. But just in general, watch. I can't remember.
I tell people, even Rangers fans here locally that I know, I'm like, hey, did you watch the Rangers? Like, no. Why did you watch the Rangers game? I'm like, yes, I watched the Rangers game, like all of it. Yeah, and you know what, JP, the games that I can't watch live, I record them and I watch them later.
Well, I typically will watch, more Rays games recorded than anything else because there's so much downtime. Yeah, there's so much. I'd say it's hard to find 3 hours to watch a regular season baseball game. And I put this out to the audience. How many of you guys have watched a regular season or even postseason baseball game? An entire game that doesn't involve the Rays. I'd be interested. Because I don't think there's many. I don't think baseball has a ton of fans like that.
I watch every single postseason game, American League, National League. I don't care who's playing. If it's a postseason baseball game,
yeah.
And we're talking in the middle of football season too, right?
Yes, so and sometimes you got games starting at noon, going till well after midnight. Yeah, when the playoffs first start.
And if it's a baseball postseason game, and I don't mean involving the Rangers, I mean if it's just a MLB postseason game in September or October, to say October, and the Cowboys are on opposite the baseball game, I will watch the postseason baseball game over the Cowboys game.
Wow. Wow, you are a baseball fan. You are a
I just do.
baseball
I
fan.
freaking love baseball. But same thing with hockey. Like, I watch every freaking hockey game, every postseason. If there's a random, again, like a Blackhawks and Maple Leafs game or something on it late that I can watch, I'm in, man. I'm in.
All right, so here are the numbers. Baseball is on pace for more than 1,400 fewer hits than last season, more than 1,300 fewer runs than last season, almost 1,800 fewer home runs than last season, and exactly 600 fewer doubles than last season. Fewest homers since 2015, when the baseball got noticeably livelier. Fewest hits per game, lowest batting average on balls in play. And that's the other thing. I mean, you look at the outfields that you have now in terms of athletes as opposed to even 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You don't find there are no Greg Luzinskis anymore. There are no Dave Kingmans anymore. These guys, every one of these guys can fly and take away hits in the gap. I mean, by the dozens. So you have a much more, and which I think is great for baseball. Great defensive play to me is, just as good as a home run, sometimes better. Yeah. So, I mean, like this play that Siri made last night. I mean, to me, that's better than watching him hit a home run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was the play of the game in extras where he fields a ground ball fairly deep, not a ground, deep fly ball. I'd say medium deep to right center. Centers himself behind the ball and throws a no-hop seed to third base and gets the guy trying to tag up, and the Rays go on to win the game in extras. I mean, that's otherworldly to watch a guy throw a ball like that from that position on that accuracy. I mean, just right where I forget who's. I think maybe Caballero took the throw, and he catches it just like belt high and just puts the tag down. I mean, that's exciting. That's exciting to me, watching defense like that. So
absolutely,
the fact that offense is down, does it make the game less exciting? I think the answer to that is of course, a little less energy in the stands. Good point by you. But defensively, I think, and athletically, the running game has never been better. I don't think baseball's ever been more athletic and more fun to watch in terms of that. Yeah. Now, a lot of guys are just saying it's a dead ball. But I do think it has a lot to do with the pitching, the spin rates, and all those things, because we've talked so much about that here as Rays fans. So yeah, so they have this and there's so many damn analytics in this game. There's something called stuff times RV. Okay, so it's basically spin rates, movement of the ball, et cetera, et cetera. And you see this graph from 2021 to 2024 that is just. It goes like straight down and then over. I mean, it's just so dramatic that it's happened. Nolan Arenado says, I'm just amazed now by how guys that you faced in the past who would challenge you in a certain way don't do that anymore. You face them now, and all of a sudden they have more velocity. They have different types of pitches now. Pitching right now is just out of control. He says, how many pitches can one man throw? Royals ace Seth Lugo throws a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, cut fastball, slider, sweeper, curve, changeup, and slurve. According to StatCast, Lugo threw only 5 pitches when he first arrived in the big leagues with the Mets in 2016. That number grew to 6 in 2017. So now he's got 8. And it's amazing. It's I'll retweet this article. It's really interesting. It talks to a lot of different players. He said, Arenado says, these guys are unbelievable now. It just seems like guys have more in their repertoire now than ever before. I remember there used to be starters out there. You'd like say, okay, he's a heavy sinker baller. Now you guys face 4-seamer, sinker, slider, change. They have 2 fastballs. They have a slider and a sweeper. And it just seems like they're building this repertoire of different types of fastballs. I'm just amazed by what we see now. The other thing you see, like almost on the daily, are sidearm pitchers. I mean, remember, there would be like 2 or 3 in the league. Now I think there's 2 or 3 per staff. And it's almost commonplace. And sidearms, 3/4 arm, creating different angles, guys straight over the top. I think it's fascinating. I mean, is it good for baseball? I would think, yeah. Will hitters eventually adjust? When you talk to guys like Matt Joyce who have been around this league, there comes a point where it's just, I don't know if you can humanly react that fast to what's coming at you.
Well, it seems impossible to react the last 80 years that we've had baseball anyway, right? 160 years that we've had baseball. It seems impossible, but the human body always adapts. The game will always adapt. And I mean, it to me, it's an exciting time for baseball. We're going through a lot of changes. I love that they're finally enforcing the pitch clock because it's supposed to have been there this whole freaking entire time.
Right.
Here in the next 10 years, I guarantee you we will have digital strike zones and the umpires will be no more.
That's coming.
And I'm okay with that. I'm a baseball purist and a historian, but dude, I'm actually okay with that. I don't have a problem with
I was
that
always against it. And now it just, ever since they came up with the K box, the strike box, it just, now you just see, you used to say, oh God, I think that was a ball. I think now you like, it feels like it's more absolute. It feels like it's more absolute. So,
so I don't have a problem with it, but man, baseball is my second favorite sport, and I love all of it.
Yeah. Thomas Casper says, guarantee Major League Baseball will introduce Magic Baseballs again for July hit show. Well, I don't, and that's the other thing. What would be the advantage for them to say, hey, let's go with the dead ball this year?
There's not one.
No. So I think it just maybe is the randomness of the materials that comes in every year because they're using natural materials. They just could be different. Rick says, yes, a 1-0 was 0-0 pitcher's duel going into the 8th is great. However, usually because there are 20 strikeouts. That's true too. More strikeouts in the game does not make it more interesting to me. It never has and never will. And we have more than ever.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you cool with that? The state of baseball right now? I think if you isolate it into less offense, you could say, that's not great for baseball. But again, I just think it's more, you turn on the highlights. I like to watch the MLB network highlight show where they do all the highlights of each and every one. And they have this, smoke show that comes on in between just to keep you
entertained.
Whoever it might be for that particular day. And their use of baseball jargon is really, really impressive. I don't know who writes that stuff, but they're spot on. Anyway,
practice.
Distracted. Sorry, tangent played. But I watch all that. I mean, it's like, wow. I mean, there's a lot of incredible baseball going on. I can't sit there and watch the whole games, but the athleticism, the power, the speed in the game right now has never been more than it is today. Interesting.
It is. It's pretty interesting. Make sure you tweet that out. I'll retweet it because I want to talk about that on one of our shows here next week because that's pretty interesting stuff. Yeah,
it's really, and all the quotes in there from the different hitters and pitchers. It's really, really interesting. It's a great breakdown of what's going on. All right, as far as the Rays go, last night, nice win again. It's this team. It's been kind of a microcosm this week of what this team is. It looks great at times, and then they go up 6-2 yesterday, and then they give it all back. Davinsky comes on, throws gas on the fire. Then Pete Fairbanks comes in. I don't know why they didn't put Fairbanks in the beginning. Davinsky's just awful. Get him out of there. And then he gives up a 3-run game-tying homer in the 9th. And you're just like, there's no way they're going to win this. And then they come back and they win the game. And that's 2 extra inning wins in a row against a really good Twins team. But in between that is some of the dumbest, worst baseball. I mean, how do you give up a 4-run lead like that late in the game? It's what are we doing here? And if Davinsky can't pitch, get him the hell out. Like, if you don't feel comfortable with him in high leverage situations, what is he there for? Yeah. Go find somebody else. So anyway, they get the win, and Fairbanks, really weird for him because he didn't come in to start the 9th. Davinsky comes in, gives up the home run, and then puts a bunch of guys on. Pete comes in, gives up the tying home run. And normally Fairbanks will be out, but they brought him back in. So he may have thought he was going out. I don't know, but evidently he went back into the, Pete's been known to have a little bit of a temper. So here's what happened after he gave up the game tying home run and before he had to go out and shut him down for the 10th.
Do we get to ask what you destroyed?
Elvis is shaking his head. It's nothing bad, Elvis. Look, let's just say that I owe the
Elvis is
Minnesota
the clubhouse
Twins
guy.
visiting Cage a new IKEA stool.
A new IKEA stool.
There needs to be a new stool, not bar stool height, like one of the mini ones that like kids use. Yeah, it's not existent anymore. But sometimes you got to get it all out to go out there and put up another zero.
Okay, but after that, you went back out there, which we don't normally see you do. What was that conversation like, and why did you go back out there, I guess?
Well, I was busy letting every bit of negative emotion out of my body in the cage. And Snide said, hey, you have to throw the next one. And I said, and I quote, so turn your sensors on. I blanked it, so I'll throw it.
Okay.
And that was that. Okay. Then I saw Phil warming up, and I was a little confused because he told me I was still in the game. And I asked Nides, am I still in this game? He said yes. He ran down the hitters. And Jose Siri made an incredible throw. I would say almost a Kevin Kiermaier-esque throw.
There we go. Okay.
If you guys want to pull up a playoff, if you guys want to pull up Game 4 from the 2021 ALDS, yes. Eerily similar.
So getting your frustration.
Is he the best? Is he the best? Do we have the all-encompassing suck sound? Do you have that one?
I don't have
We used
that.
to have that one loaded in there. Yeah, we need to have that one on demand. Not a specific suck. It was an all-encompassing.
All-encompassing.
Yeah, so he is just pure post-game gold. I mean, whenever he pitches, go to Pete Fairbanks. He so reminds me of that SNL character too, or actor. What is his name? Hader.
Bill Hader. Yeah, he does look like Bill Hader.
It looks like
Yeah.
and he looks like when he does his interviews, it looks like a SNL sketch.
Yeah.
So props to Bally Sports right there, and Trisha Whitaker. Trisha's so good with the question. She knows when to follow up and how to follow up, especially with Pete, to get the best out of him. So kudos to her. That's really, really good stuff. And I love it. And so many guys these days are just like, they'll just be, oh, no, I was pissed. Went back out.
I hate those. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so cliche. But Pete will let you know. Yeah, I destroyed an IKEA stool in there. Can you? Because I could see you picking up that little stool and just wham.
Yeah.
Got to get it all out. Got to get the negative emotions out so you can go out.
You do.
Calm yourself and be ready to go.
Sounds like they need a padded room just for him on his bad starts.
Yeah. But listen, he's in touch with his emotions. He knows how to deal it. He knows how to clear it, and away they go. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, listen, I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to fall into this trap. And we'll talk to Steve Carney here in a little bit. I'm not going to fall into this trap of, oh my God, yes, this is without question the turnaround for the season. They beat the Twins 2 out of 3, 2 extra inning wins, blah, 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 blah. No. I just don't. This just seems like a lost season. They go to Pittsburgh now, I believe. And it's, they'll lose 2, win 2, lose 3, win 2 out of 3. It seems like this team is not going to get over the hump and put together a 17 out of 23 run. I just don't see that in the cards. I don't see consistent enough offense. I don't see consistent enough bullpen. I don't see consistent enough starting pitching. Nothing has been consistent this year. So if you're looking for that magical moment, I don't see it.
3 day games, oddly enough, in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Well, I mean, you call a 5:40 start a day game. I kind of consider that, I guess, an afternoon game.
Yeah.
But tomorrow's 3:05 start and Sunday's 12:35.
Yeah. I think Jeremy Lowe here might have, where my head's at. Can't wait for the 2025 race season. Yeah. Get me the pitching staff back. Add some, God, for God's sakes. Can we just spend some money and go get one hitter, just one effing hitter who averages 29 home runs a year? Just one. Why is it too much to ask to have one slugger, one real slugger? Just one. Somebody in there that you fear that, oh, this guy might hit a home run. Just one. Not, oh, this guy will get on a hot streak before he, throws his back out.
Right.
That's what we get. This guy, oh, he can carry us for a week and a half until he pulls a hammy, or decides that the new dating app for under 14 is what's working for him. I mean,
Working out a deal with the girl's mom.
I mean, it's just like, can we get a slugger? Can we get a slugger? Please. All right, let's before we get to Steve Carney, I wanted to get to this. This kind of exploded on the internet. I was watching a little bit of the Rick Wood game last night, the Cardinals and the Cubs. Did you watch? You watched the whole game?
Every pitch.
Yeah, a really cool setting, like a really, really, really cool setting. But
the oldest baseball stadium in America.
Yeah, I was in Birmingham. When were we there? Like a year ago, and we were just rolling through and saw that park, and it was dormant for a long time. They brought it back to life, and has such incredible history. I guess 55% of baseball's Hall of Famers played in that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty incredible.
Significant, right?
Yeah. And the recent move to honor all the stats of the Negro Leagues, I think, was a stroke of genius by MLB Baseball. And when you hear Reggie Jackson talk about what these players went through, and this is what you're going to hear right now, I think you'll have a different perspective. And we all know, I mean, if you're a student of history, we know what went on in this country. But to hear Reggie talk about it in baseball terms was frankly a little sobering.
And continues to go on, by the way, in some places.
Yes, exactly. So this was from ESPN last night. Was it ESPN or Fox? Maybe Fox.
Fox is Fox. Yeah, and by the way, this was not kudos to Fox, by the way. I want to say this before we show it, for letting him just go on this honest spilling of guts, of just a train of emotions for him. Because when they prepared that, when Alex Rodriguez was fed this question, because he's not smart enough to think of it on his own,
right?
This is not where they thought this would go. They were looking for praise for the ballpark, for his time there, and that is not what they got. So you want to play it now?
Let's check it out.
Emotional is it for you to come back to a play that you played with one of the greatest teams around?
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, you think you're a better person, you think you won when you played here in Concord. I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, you can't eat here. I would go to a hotel and they said, you can't stay here. We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner and they pointed me out with the N-word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, we're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted. Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Sobering stuff there from Reggie for sure. And I don't want to go on a rant about this or anything, but I kind of feel there's a whole generation of people being brought up that unfortunately don't know about this, that they don't know that it existed. They weren't taught about it. Our generation, JP, dealt with it kind of firsthand still, even I did when I was a young age.
We did.
For sure. And I feel like there's a whole generation of people that kind of don't know that it's kind of like the Holocaust, unfortunately, like for that generation, right? Like,
well, the teachings of history are very lacking in our youth. There's no question about it. That's why, for my children and my stepchildren, I've gone to great lengths to teach them about things that have happened, because if you are not a student of history, if you ignore history, you are doomed to repeat it, which unfortunately we're doing in this country right now in a lot of different ways. So when you try to erase your history, that is not a good thing, folks. You need to learn from your history. That is critical to the human development. And with Reggie, to me, it was sobering because, I watch Reggie play. We watch Reggie play, and this is a part of my lifetime. This was happening in my lifetime. In 1987, I lived in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, which was one of the most racist places I've ever been, and it was disgusting, and I hated it. And I had a friend who belonged to a country club in Jackson, Mississippi, and I wanted to invite Eddie Payton, who was one of my friends and golfing buddies, Walter's brother, who was the head coach at Jackson State, head golf coach, to come play with us. And my friend told me, "Oh, Eddie can't play there." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah,
in the late 80s."
In the late 80s.
Yeah.
In the late 80s. I mean, I was like, I'd say, well, then, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I won't be playing there either.
Yeah, we're good. It's just, but what I really appreciate about what Reggie did is he talked about the white people who brought them through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's important to note is you learn from your history, and you also learn from the fact that we changed that. Not, it lasted far too long than it ever should. And we've come so far. And I think if we dwell on the negatives, it's not a good thing. It's to bring people together because there are tons of great people in that particular time, not the Bull Connors of the world. And how I would have loved to seen Reggie Jackson, 5 minutes with a bat in a dark alley with Bull Connor. That'd have been a nice pay-per-view for me, and I think everybody else on the planet. Those were despicable human beings that treated others like that. And we see it today. Man's inhumanity to man is at times just incomprehensible. And we need to be better than that. And when Reggie talks about that stuff, it does bring a lot of it home. And just to renew our commitment to be better, and not just between black and white, to white to black, to everybody in every creed, color, sexual orientation, everything. Let's just be kind.
Yeah.
Don't be crazy. I'm not talking about being crazy. We're talking about being kind and equal and wonderful to everybody. And that to me was very, very poignant what he said last night.
It was great. And people needed to hear it. And I'm glad he did that. I'm glad Fox let him roll with it. They didn't try to cut him off or censor him. Because he dropped the N-word. He dropped the N-word on network TV twice.
Yeah.
I edited it out for the show. But he dropped the N-word twice.
Which, in that scene,
I don't have
in
a
that
problem
setting,
with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Nope, not at all.
I mean, it was, if there's any time that's appropriate for someone to use that word, that's it.
Yep.
Because
he
it tells the story. It tells the story. All right. Well, let's bring in our good friend Steve Carney, a student of history and a student of baseball himself, Rays insider. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm good, my friend. We're sitting outside here at the beautiful Carpenter Complex in Clearwater, getting ready for a Florida Complex League game here in about an hour and a half between the Phillies and the Tigers.
You love your baseball, man. You love your baseball.
I'm just glad it's not 1,000 degrees today like it was yesterday. There comes a point where this big body, you're going to have to get me a spoon and some butter. I'm going to have to baste myself.
Feed the masses. Absolutely. Carney's roasting on the spit. All right. So I know you were up and listening to that from Reggie, probably watching a lot of the coverage last night, maybe in between the Rays. Well, the Rays had an afternoon game. What were your thoughts on what he said and that whole experience last night?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that needed to be taken away from this whole thing. This whole thing is wonderful for Major League Baseball. Being in Birmingham, playing at Rickwood, it's a historic site. It's a historic venue to play a game at. But you got to be able to see the whole thing. They've talked about how lovely Rickwood is as a field. It ain't in the greatest neighborhood in the world, in Birmingham, if you've ever been to Birmingham.
Yeah.
But I really do think that it was good for Reggie to show the entire situation. And let's face it, there was obviously a lot of racism that went on in the South in the 40s and the 50s into the 60s, and it hasn't stopped. I mean, you were talking about all the things that went on. Ask Adam Jones what it's like to play in Boston as a black man. They used the N-word a lot later than in the 60s.
Yes.
Yes. So I really do think that it's something that needs to continuously be worked on. And I think that there's always going to be room for improvement. We can always get better. And I think that the point is that you have to continue to get better and you have to continue working.
Well, I think the good thing is, Steve, that we've never seen more color in baseball. Diversity in baseball has never been more prevalent. And it's, baseball, I love about, baseball in all sports, really. It's a meritocracy. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you can spin it, you can spin it. If you can hit it, you can hit it. And that's the beauty of the game. I mean, it wasn't always that way, obviously, because the game was segregated. But in the modern game is anything but. And it's never been more athletic. It's never been more fun to watch, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that, you look at what you've seen over the last couple of years, and I think it's gotten better with bringing in the pitch clock, with, eliminating the shifts. I think the home run is still far too important of an aspect offensively. I mean, you look at it, the teams that are doing well are the teams that have the most home runs. And the teams that are not doing well are usually the teams that have the fewest. And I think that's something that if you're baseball, you probably want to see the levels try and even themselves out a little more. But until that happens, you go with the flow. You try and win any way that you can. And right now, the good teams are doing that with the long ball still.
Yeah.
Well, the Rays are struggling in terms of the long ball. Yesterday they got a couple, and they've hit so much better this past week. What have you seen in this past week from this team that gives you a little bit of hope moving forward?
Yeah, I think that really the first thing when it comes to getting out of a slump, and you and I have talked about this on numerous occasions. I remember talking about Jose Siri with you, 4 or 5 weeks ago about what he needed to do to get out of his slump. And it starts with pitch recognition. You think about it, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball gets from the pitcher's hand to the catcher's mitt in under 0.4 of a second. So in that 0.4 of a second, you have to identify, you have to determine it's in the right area that you want to swing at. You have to make the decision to swing, and then you just swing the damn bat. So it's really, I don't think
it ain't easy.
Yeah, people that have never played baseball beyond the Little League level don't understand just how difficult things get. And it just, exponentially gets harder the further up you go, whether it's, going from high school to college to professional to rookie ball where I am today, into single A, next door at Baycare Ballpark, to double A to triple A, and finally the big leagues. It just gets exponentially harder and harder and harder. But it really all starts with getting out of funks with pitch recognition.
Yeah. And that play Siri made last night defensively, that was one that you just kind of remember for years and years to come.
Oh, absolutely. And I've said that, Jose Siri can be Kevin Kiermaier, and he can also do what Kevin Kiermaier couldn't do, which is put a team on his back late in the game with his bat. As much as I like KK, his best offensive output is from gap to line, whereas Jose Siri is gap to gap. And I really do think that, he can be a Kevin Kiermaier and then some. And that play, and I think the most important thing about that play was the communication between Siri and Richie Palacios, telling Palacios, get the hell out of my way, because I'm going to catch this, and I'm going to try and get the runner at third base, Royce Lewis, who is, not a slow guy.
Not slow.
No. He's not a slow guy at all. And for him to be able to do that was incredible. And credit to Palacios for being able to listen, and be ready to get out of the way for his center fielder.
Yeah. I don't know if Randy would have got out of the way, but he might have got teabagged again.
Randy put his arms up like I'm doing. If you're watching us on YouTube or on FanStreamSports.com, I'm just kind of got my arms up. He'd have given him like that NBA style pick play.
Yeah, what are you doing? So and Fairbanks was he was awesome post game again. The best interview in sports. And you've interviewed him quite a few times. Is he and your time as a Rays insider and being in that clubhouse for 20 plus years? Has there ever been a better interview than Pete Fairbanks?
It's tough to think of somebody. JP Howell. I mean, relievers
he was
always
good.
can be funky. JP Howell was always hilarious. I remember the day they had the Avril Lavigne post game concert at Tropicana Field. I remember going up to him, and of course, one of her big songs was "Skater Boy," and JP being from Southern California was like, "Were you a skater boy?" And he was like, "Hell no, I was a gangster."
A gangster.
So funny. Like one of the kookiest. And he's left-handed, which makes him extra kooky. But JP Howell was
he was a good one.
Was
Carlos
a long
Pena
time favorite. Carlos Pena is always so charismatic. I mean, you knew he was going to be on television. I mean, being on television yourself, you can recognize when you look at guys and go, that guy's going to be on television. That guy's going to
be on TV. Absolutely.
And he was definitely one of those guys. Yeah. But yeah, he's always fun.
I'm trying to remember. Roberto Hernandez was pretty good too. He was pretty good.
The first Roberto Hernandez, not the former Fausto Carmona.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Former Fausto Carmona, I'll tell you this story very quickly. He was very robotic because he didn't speak English very well. They used to joke with him that he'd been here 15 years and he only knew 11 words of English, but the players used to kid him mercilessly. He was one of those guys that just was open for ribbing. And so one time he had pitched a game for the Rays, and he'd given up like this massive home run to Justin Morneau, I think it was. And I asked him about the pitch, and he was like, "Oh, it was a slider that did this." And he was very robotic, like he never gave you anything. And I kind of chuckled when he made the circle, and he looked at me. And he's like, "You laughing at me because I gave him a home run?" And I actually got a human being response from it. I was like,
"Oh my God,
Roberto, all of my sliders do that." And
yes.
He kind of laughed, and he went back to being his normal self.
Yeah, Roberto Hernandez used to sit back, and he'd have this huge ice pack on his shoulder, and an open Budweiser in his hand.
Shocking.
And that was okay. And that was okay back then. That was nobody cared, And he would just.
The guys are still drinking beer in the clubhouse. It's fine. It's their place.
They better be okay. It better be okay. We were talking earlier also about the and you kind of touched on it, the lack of hitting in baseball and the lack of runs and how offense is demonstratively down. And the Athletic did a great story on this. We're talking about it, and it's basically comes down to these pitchers are just so freaking good. The power pitching, the velocity, and it seems like everybody's caught up to the Rays in their analytics and pitching as well, and everybody's kind of become that smart. And I mentioned that Matt Joyce said earlier this year, it's like it's never been tougher to hit baseball. It's damn near impossible to hit from when I first broke in. And Arenado was talking about this as well. He said, you get into a series and you look at the starting pitchers and you're like, oh, that guy throws 92. That's going to be a good day for most of us. He goes, you don't see that anymore. Everybody who comes out of the pen, the starting pitcher, everybody's throwing 96, high velocity, 8 different pitches. It's almost impossible. Is that good for the game, bad for the game? How do you see it?
I don't know if you can say it's good or bad for the game, but it is what it is right now. And you go back to when Matt Garza was on the Rays, and everybody talked about how great his fastball was and how dominant of a fastball he had. His fastball was like 94, and now it seems like I think the average fastball this year is like 95.1 miles an hour. It's ridiculous.
Holy hell.
How fast and how much power these guys throw with. But what you're seeing, and you saw it start with the Rays, because it seems like everything starts with the Rays, pitcher's elbows breaking down.
Yeah.
And when it was the Rays, nobody cared. Shane McClanahan goes down, Tyler Glasnow goes down, Jeffrey Springs goes down. Nobody cares. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes down, and Kyle Bradish goes down, and Garrett Cole goes down, and all of a sudden now everybody's got to make a big deal about it. This is baseball correcting itself. I think you've seen a lot of the power. Now you're seeing guys' elbows break down, and it's going to be up to the front office to make that adjustment and get the pendulum swinging back the other way. And I think it will eventually. But right now, we're still in that really high momentum where everything is about trying to throw as hard as you can because it makes it tougher and tougher for hitters. But now it's going to be tougher and tougher for front offices to find good starting pitching, and things are going to start shifting back the other way. It always does.
You think so? Because
I think it does. Eventually, it's not going to get back. We're not going to be seeing Frank Tanana junk ball pitchers. But
I miss Frank Tanana.
Wow!
I almost made you spit your drink out.
Yes, that was a good one.
I almost did it. But you're not going to see
Jamie Moyer, baby.
Or Tommy John. Guys that are getting guys out with 79-mile-an-hour pitches. There are very few guys like Ryan Yarbrough or Tyler Alexander that have any sort of success at the big league level. So I really do think that eventually you're going to find that happy medium. It's not going to swing all the way back, but they will have to come off of the, hey, everybody's got to throw 1,000 miles an hour every pitch to get guys out to be successful, because there's just not enough elbows in this world to make it work.
Yeah,
you and I will be pitching before that.
Well, I think like the Rays are like, well, yeah, everybody's expendable, and everybody at some point you're going to just get a Tommy John and then come back and keep throwing as hard as you can until you have another Tommy John. It's just
I heard David Sampson, the former president of the Marlins, say that he would have, if he had his way, he'd have all his prospects get Tommy John immediately.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way. And
yeah.
So I thought that was a very interesting opinion to take of it. I personally, the fewer surgeries, the better. But if you're gonna get it, you got to get it.
Yeah, and I think I was reading another article about the breakdown of pitchers, and so much of it is it's built up innings at a young age, and I think we're starting to get some sanity in travel ball, college baseball. For God's sakes, Link Jarrett actually sat Jamie Arnold and didn't pitch him on short rest at the College World Series. For the first time I think a manager's ever done that at a College World Series. I was going to say,
because I worked the American Athletic Conference tournament here in Clearwater, and they had their pitchers going on short rest after throwing like 140 pitches.
Bananas.
I think college coaches, and you're going to start seeing fewer and fewer college pitchers being taken, especially in starting pitching role. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of college pitchers as relievers because they've had so many bullets used in the NCAA.
Yeah, I think that's true. All right, partner, where are the Rays going now the rest of the year? What the trade deadline's coming up? I'm of the opinion, sell Mortimer, sell it all, redo this whole team. I think you got maybe Josh Lowe, Pepio. There's a few untouchables, but not many. What are your thoughts on where they go the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think if you're going to sell, you want to sell early because you want to get out in front of everybody. And they've done that in the past.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
He was making a really good point, too.
Yeah. I want to give him a second to see if he pops back up here. Nope. There's signs. No signs of life. All right.
Nope, not yet.
Well, I mean, he's got a good point. Sell early because, before all the prospects get used up. And I know certainly the Braves are in the market for a starting left fielder or starting outfielder. Randy Rosarena could be a good fit there, and they certainly have a lot of talent in their system. They've just been beset by injuries so bad. Even these higher salary ball clubs can lose a little bit of depth. So anyway, I think I do think it's with the vote coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard politically for the Rays maybe to move a Randy Rosarena or a Yandy Diaz, but I think it would be the best baseball decision, especially Randy. But maybe they'll hold on to him and see where this season goes, because if they do sell and the team continues to nosedive, I mean, you want to talk about lack of attendance. Yeah. And I was watching Fox 13 did a piece on the stadium the other day, and so much of the attention now is really, really focused on the actual deal, how much, locals are spending. And it just absolutely boggles my mind that every time somebody writes something about the deal, it's like, oh, the city's putting in $312 million towards the stadium. No, they're not. It's with interest payments, it's closer to $650 million.
Right.
So it's like, interest payments count towards public money.
It's real money.
It's real money. In case you didn't know, check your credit card statement or your mortgage. That's my mortgage was I borrowed $300,000. I'm going to pay $600,000 by the end of the mortgage. So that's what the cost of the mortgage is, not $300,000. Well, whatever. But I think it's just being totally ignored is, will it work? Will it work? And nobody's even talking about that anymore, which I still think is a huge debate. Like the city council isn't even that's not even part of it. It's like, hey, nobody's ever even said on the city council, hey, is this really a good idea overall? Like, what are we, or do we really think that this place is going to be packed, that it's going to bring all these people? I mean, where's the evidence that would support that? If you're going to do a huge expenditure on anything from a business standpoint, you would have projections into the future. Like, this is the revenue that we expect to generate from this team. Like, where are those projections? And does anybody really feel, are we building a stadium to have the worst attendance in the league or lowest 3? Is that really why we're doing, and where's the expectations or the data that suggests, have we done any feasibility studies? Have we polled Rays baseball fans and said, how many more games are you going to go to in the new park? I haven't seen any polls to that effect. I mean, if I was voting on this, I'd be like, is this a really good, and we're not even paying any attention to that, whatsoever. Thought it might be a key component too.
JP, none of that stuff matters. He's here. Stu's here to help the community. He's here to help the community grow. He's here to help the underprivileged. He's building homeless, houses for homeless people and low-income people. He's taking care of all of that.
Don't forget the museum,
the
$50 million African-American museum.
Yes, he is pro-African-American, and he's putting forth his own money, supposedly,
That's awesome.
to help them. That's what's important, JP.
They need a museum. Really need a museum. That's the key piece.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you're focusing on the wrong things.
I'm guessing they'd probably like that money to go something more tangible that would help them, like the actual building of the homes. But
food,
lower rents. I don't know. I don't know. Call me crazy. But yeah, I hope it passes. I hope it gets everything you want. I hope it works out tremendously well for everyone. I'm really excited about it. I think all signs point towards prosperity.
Absolutely.
100%. I just want to see the team get better. That's all I want to see. I want to see the team get better. All right. We will take a quick break and we'll come back on the other side. We're going to talk some FSU baseball coming up. We're going to talk a little Panthers and Oilers tonight, my friend. Very interested in game
Oilers.
6. Yes, the choke is on. The choke is real. So we'll hit that as well. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. For any of your legal needs, especially if you've been involved in an accident, your car has been totaled, you have a beef with an insurance company, for homeowners or your auto or whatever you need in the legal realm, the Jeeves Law Group will represent you vigorously. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. JEEVES lawgroup.com. And of course, the great folks at Hydrate Heroes coming up later on, our Hydrate Hero of the Week. We will be chatting with another person with great ties to the military. 15% of all proceeds from Hydrate Heroes going to great military charities for our veterans. Back in 3. Stay with us. Summer is here, and it's the perfect time to shine with the exquisite June birthstones, pearl, alexandrite, and moonstone at the Golden Diamond Source. Each gemstone carries its own unique significance and style, making them perfect for any summer occasion. Did you know the 30th anniversary milestone is pearl, the traditional stone for this special occasion? And right now you can enjoy 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a stunning $5,000 ring and pay only $83 a month with 0 interest for 5 years. That's a great deal. And shop online and get 15% off the June birthstones. And we love our partners, local businesses that have been here for 40 years. That's right, the Golden Diamond Source has been here for 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub have done so much in our community. We thank them, and we shop there. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmington Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Happy summer. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance, been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for TryHydrateHeroes.com. That's our new website where you can get a free 3-pack of the great Hydrate Heroes electrolyte hydration drink, all for free. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. We'll send you a 3-pack. While you're there, go ahead and buy the 30-pack for just $29.99. Special going on, less than $1 a serving. For all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Folks, a lot of these hydration drinks have tons of sugar, tons of calories. Hydrate Heroes, just 5 calories, and they have all the electrolytes in there, plus other stuff that's going to benefit you. A mushroom blend that will help with inflammation. So much other good stuff in there. None of the bad stuff. It's Hydrate Heroes. Go to TryHydrateHeroes.com and get your free 3-pack. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out, and it is fantastic. They'll send you some. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. Get all the information there. Pick up a 30-pack as well. TryHydrateHeroes.com. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Funky Friday. You got big plans for the new beard for the weekend?
Well, I don't know if I should say this on the air. Well, we're in Tampa. We're not in Dallas. I got 3 dates this weekend, JP.
Wow, there you go. Wow.
Tonight, Saturday night, tomorrow night, and a Sunday brunch date.
Wow.
And one of them is age appropriate.
Attaboy. Hey, way to go, Belichick. No days off. Do your job. I bet that's right. What that 24-year-old cheerleader hears every day. No days off.
Every day.
Do your job.
I mean, I feel like that's pertinent for all girlfriends everywhere.
Right. And boyfriends as well.
And boyfriends, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, we need more love in the world, right? So who cares who's dating who, whatever the ages may be, whatever the orientations may be. You want to love a tree, you love a tree.
Yeah.
We need more love in the world.
You want to marry your hamster? Just don't tell me about it.
That's right. I hope you all are happy. I just want you to be happy and kind to people. Yeah. That's it. Nobody cares. It's just about the money. Probably. But if you're okay with that, everybody's happy.
Everybody needs money.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Rick says, that's right, Tim. Stu is for the people. What else did that lady do to your beard? Make you smoke it? Questioning your
She's going to be doing something tomorrow night to my beard.
Thomas says, all baseball and football parking lots should build a museum.
The parking lot museum. Every city should have one.
I mean, just like it. I don't want to get sued, so I'm just going to try to not to talk about the stadium.
They said you couldn't talk about it. They didn't say I couldn't talk about it.
Thrown off Twitter for no reason.
I don't know if that Twitter's coming back either, pal. I've done some digging.
Yeah.
They said if it's not back on after 7 days, it's probably gone forever. How many days?
It hasn't been 7 days. Hasn't been 7 days. So, and they still I could still read. They have the read only.
Oh,
they didn't erase it.
Okay.
So I still have all the, my tweets are all there. Like everything is still there. It's still there.
Right.
But it's suspended. So.
Like I can't look it up. Like if I look it up, it says this account is suspended. Like I can't see anything that's on your timeline. So, well, that's good. Maybe
I swear on my children's life, I didn't do. And what they said I did, the most ridiculous thing ever.
Oh,
why would I do that?
Yeah.
And it just made none of it makes any sense. And there was a suspicious login, like 2 days prior to the suspension. So, but I never saw anything posted, anything inappropriate posted on my, and nobody else did either.
Yeah, because you were having issues, because you contacted me saying you were having login issues and asking me if I was getting into it, and I'm not into it. Yeah. So it was kind of weird. So somebody was monkeying around with it, and then may have posted something, and may have immediately deleted it or whatever. But it's the most bizarre thing ever. The timing's a little bit interesting, that's for sure. No question about it. Play fair, Stu.
No question. But it's like the whole project, from first of all, what is it a good idea? Is it a good idea? By any measure, no. Nobody goes. It's a terrible location. Like, why would you do that? 25 years of evidence. Like that's the non-starter right there. Like that's the non-starter. The fact that the owner never wanted to build in St. Pete, never. And then we uncover wow, this is a really good deal for him. And they're thinking, they're getting that land for next to nothing. Wow, that's really interesting. And then you go through the whole deal and it's like, wow, there's not a whole lot of guarantees. Here's the city. They're not making a lot of revenue off it. Like what? And let's build affordable housing in that area. That is just from any city planners. That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Use the money for other things, and you could build 3 times as many affordable housing units in another area that would be more beneficial to the people who are looking for the affordable housing.
Right.
Like in any measure, and then putting a museum there. Like that's not something that even many of the African-American groups want. It's the whole thing is just such a hodgepodge of weirdness. And it just smacks of let's make it look politically great. And it just, in my opinion, is not. But, that's not my money. It's not. So good luck with it. I hope it works tremendously well. I hope they get everything they want out of it. And I hope Stu is happy, and I hope he makes gazillions of dollars off it because he needs it. I hope it all works out.
We all need money.
Yeah. All right. We got hockey tonight. We got a game 6 tonight in Edmonton. The great one will be there.
Yep.
And so much of this is, about Connor McDavid and Gretzky and kind of the parallel between the two. Of course, no one will ever reach that level. It's just never going to happen. The numbers that Gretzky put up.
No.
But Connor McDavid's doing a lot. I mean, in terms
and that's
of
okay.
this year,
Nobody's ever going to be Gretzky. Stop trying to compare these kids to Gretzky.
Okay.
It's not going to happen.
But this guy's really freaking good. And and what we're witnessing here in this turnaround in the series is historic. It's not been done since the 42 Maple Leafs, which I believe is the last time the Maple Leafs won anything.
Close.
Close. I know it's 66.
Yeah.
So it's like this is something really super special for hockey. The best player in the game has turned around a series, and this team, and suddenly, it couldn't happen to a better team on the other end as far as the Panthers go. The choking, this would be a historic choke. In Lightning fans that have been, quote, rooting for the Panthers, What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Greg Wolf?
Don't
Look at
understand. I don't understand.
Well, Greg knows a lot of people down there and that work for the Panthers organization. So he has some, he's not like a typical fan that just hates their rival. So he has a lot of connections.
Right.
So I get it, but for me, I'm just like, no, I want the Lightning to remain the only team in Florida with a Stanley Cup. And I would like to saddle those stinking Panthers with the greatest choke job in Stanley Cup history and keep their names off my stinking Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup's going to get a tan again. It's going to be right here in Tampa Bay, not down there in Sunrise.
Right.
In the middle of the Everglades.
No. I don't understand how you can cheer for a division rival for anything ever. I don't understand that as a sports fan in any sport, how you can cheer for a division rival. Ever.
I don't get it.
Especially like, I don't understand the in-state thing. Oh man, we got to support our Florida teams. I'm a freaking Aggie, right? Under zero circumstances do I ever cheer for the University of Texas for anything. I don't care, a national championship, whatever. It's not good.
No, it doesn't help you. No.
Come on, people, man, we got to support Texas. We got to support our Texas. No, you don't.
I don't know about you, but Tampa and Tampa Bay and South Florida could not be more different places.
Yes.
It's like, I know we're in the same state. We share a governor. We share a state capital, but that's about it.
That's it.
I mean, just draw a line, at the Everglades, right there, up to, let's include West Palm Beach and all those freaks.
Sure.
And everybody else, all the rich people in Jupiter. Cut that off. That you just float it up to Manhattan or wherever it
let it go up the East Coast. Yeah.
Gotta take it. It's unlike any other part of Florida. It is. What does not belong? I mean, we're way closer to Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Pensacola. Like, we're like people. That's Florida. That's the crazy ass Florida people that we know, and that's Florida, man. The rest of that stuff down there, I don't know what the hell that is. That's just keep it.
It's like its own state, right? It's like you're not even in the same state.
It is. Get out of here. The state of Miami, Nathan Elliott says. Yes, that's what it is.
Tampa and Orlando are like 90 miles apart, something like that, right? That's how far apart Austin and College Station are. They're 90 miles. But Austin, they're right down the road from each other. But Austin is the state capital, obviously. It's this huge city, right? Dude, Bryan and College Station is still just a little country town.
Mm-hmm.
So there couldn't be more different, but they're so close to each other. But dude, under zero circumstances do I ever cheer for a division rival in pro sports or even a conference rival in college, especially your 150-year-old rival in football and other sports, the University of Texas or whatever.
100%.
I don't get it.
All right. Before we hit the break and we bring on Emily Peters, FSU baseball insider, I wanted to hit one other story that I just have to laugh at. JJ Redick is the new coach of your Los Angeles.
Joke this has become.
Is that such a Laker thing to do?
What a
he was really good on my podcast. Or did JJ go on LeBron's podcast, or which one? That's when the love affair started. Wow, JJ really knows basketball. And that's why you're going to hire him as the head coach, because I like him. He's good on my podcast. And now he's your head coach. I mean,
that's why I hate LeBron, dude. That's just what he does to the NBA. Now he's ruining the Lakers. Well, he already ruined the Lakers. He ruining the Lakers which I don't care. I hate the
Darvin
Lakers.
Ham takes him to the Western Conference Finals, wins the in-season tournament. I mean, what more with that roster? What more can you do? What more? And he gets fired.
I love Darvin Ham. He's an ex-Texas Tech Red Raider, right? But for the love of God, he should not have had that job either. He was not qualified for that job.
Sam Cassell has been an assistant in the NBA for, I think, 20 years now. But
and he's
universally beloved. And, rings as a player, coach, everything. And you choose JJ Redick over him? I mean, come on.
I don't get it, man.
It's all about glitz and glamour. It's all about, as you say in Texas, all hat, no cattle, right?
LeBron's supposed to opt out, right? He's probably not even going to be a Laker again.
Well, if he is, we know who they're taking in the second round. Do they even have a second round pick? But the league will just give them an extra pick to pick Bronny, and he can come play, and it's just keep the circus going. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some FSU baseball, one of the greatest turnarounds in college baseball history, and it happens with a nucleus of Tampa Bay players. Emily Peters is an FSU insider, and we will chat with her when we come back. We're brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions. Go to their website, extravaganzaproductions.com. They are the best in the business. If you have a business meeting coming up, a big birthday, a charity event, they can produce it for you. Let the professionals handle it while you sit back and enjoy your event. Extravaganza Productions work with them many, many times, the best in the business. Go to their website, contact them through there. Tell them JP sent you. They'll give you a free creative meeting. Back in 3. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Strike. 102.5 WHPT HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete studio production services at our state-of-the-art facilities. Put our experience and expertise to work for you. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden and Diamond Source. The summer sale is on, so get your butt on over there. Great prices, great selection, and, of course, great local folks over there that do so much in the community. Keep it local at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road. All right, we want to welcome in Emily Peters, who's an FSU baseball insider, been covering the program for quite some time. Good morning, Emily. How are you? Good to have you. A hell of a run by this FSU baseball team. They've come a long way under Link Jarrett, and you've been there watching the whole thing. What do you think was the biggest difference this year for this team to make such a huge turnaround?
Well, I think there was a lot. I think offensively, you saw a very different approach at the plate just for Florida State. The program in general, it was very aggressive, and you saw that up until the very last game a couple days ago against Tennessee. That approach stayed aggressive, and I think they had some great at bats. I know we'll probably talk about that eventually, but the approach was definitely there, and it was aggressive, and it was different, and I loved it. I think you saw the kind of players that Link wants in this program and all season long. And then this might be, I guess, a little bit unpopular, but I also think the pitching. I think the pitching was a huge step up from last year. You don't really plan for certain injuries. You kind of go into the season hoping that all your guys stay healthy, especially a guy like Cam Leiter. So we went into the season, I think, with more depth. And then, of course, that kind of disintegrated as the season goes on. But I think the pitching stepped up a lot. You saw a lot of growth from Arnold and a lot of the guys. You saw someone like Joe Charles, who has dealt with a lot throughout his career at Florida State. And it was really great to see him have a year and just some freshmen that are going to step up. So offensively, pitching, I think it was all just leaps and bounds over what you saw last year.
And Link obviously coming in had played for Mike Martin for I think it was an All-American for 3 seasons way back when I was covering the program, and has made his way back. Just talk a little bit about him. I'm sure you get to know him a little bit and what kind of his different philosophy and what he brings to the program.
Well, I could sit here and talk about Link for the rest of your day. I don't have enough good things to say about him. I'll go back to last year, his first season with the program. I spoke with him before opening day. And, you would think for a guy like him who played for this program, he went to Omaha 3 times. The nerves maybe would be there. The excitement would be there. But he was so cool, calm, and collected. He was like, I've already been through all of those emotions. I am so excited for this team to get out there and to show what we've worked on. And, of course, that didn't necessarily come to fruition last year. But this year, you constantly heard from him that the approach never changed. It was just always like, I want this team to do so well. He wanted it so bad. And I think him playing for 11 and, kind of dealing with that frustration of going to Omaha 3 times and never winning it. That's, of course, 3 times. That's only a small fraction of the amount of times that the program dealt with that frustration. So
24.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to wear on you. And I think he was just the perfect person to lead this team and to get them back into the college baseball conversation because he understands it. So all season, just, we didn't expect them to do as well as they did. And it kept getting better, So up until Omaha, it was like, I want it so bad. I think he wanted it more than the players after. I mean, he's never had it before. And, there's so many things to say about him. You mentioned it yesterday about just making the decision not to start Arnold. It shows you that he loves his team. He loves his players and he has their best interest at heart all the time. You see the character of these guys and James Tibbs, Cam Smith. I could go on and on about them too. You see like the kind of guys that he has here. It's got to show you a little bit about his character as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a culture change. There's no doubt about it. And I think he's definitely on the right track. And of course, it doesn't hurt when you're recruiting a lot of Tampa Bay players. And I gave you a little bit of an assignment to kind of dig into that nucleus. And you got another one on the way. Gary Sheffield's kid, another a Jesuit player, is on his way to Florida State. So what's Link spending a lot of time down here in Tampa Bay? What's going on?
Well, I think it's the proof is in the punch, I guess. You got a guy like Arnold coming in. Even Connor Whitaker, he's from Sarasota, so not too far from y'all down there.
We count them. They're part of the family here. Yeah.
He's phenomenal. You got these guys coming in and all around the league as well. And it's like, okay, there's some serious talent coming from down there. I need to maybe go down there and visit them some more. And I know with Noah Sheffield, he was like, his dad, he was like, I don't want you to call anybody. I don't want you to have much of an influence. I want to make this decision. And I think I think Link is an easy guy to be convinced to play for.
Yeah.
So if he's down there recruiting talent from especially the Jesuit kids, they're probably going to want to come play at Florida State, especially after this season.
We got to get that Wechter kid, the pitcher. His dad Doug is a friend of the program, known him for years. I don't know what his situation is. I got to delve into that, but we got to start pushing him towards Florida State as well. Be another great get. You had mentioned earlier about the aggressive nature of this FSU team offensively. I go back a long time with Mike Martin, a dear friend. I used to play golf with him a long time ago. But Mike was always about take pitches. Get those pitch counts up, and I wasn't always sure if that was, the right way to approach it sometimes in college baseball. And, he did amazing things with this program, but obviously the game evolves, and it seems like Link has got that on lockdown. Like, this is a much more aggressive team. They're going early in the count, and they've got and the success this year offensively, like you say, the proof's in the pudding. That was tremendous. Is that part of the difference in philosophy?
Oh, 100%. You saw it when he was the head coach at Notre Dame too.
Yeah.
And you saw with that lineup, it was like there was no one that really stood out. You didn't necessarily have a Cam Smith or a James Tibbs. It was these guys that were good at baseball that, Link saw something in, and he had this ability to maximize their talent at the plate, especially, in the box and seeing pitches. And I mean, this Tibbs and Cam Smith, I can't help myself, but you see the difference from last year to this year. They're seeing the ball so much better. And yes, they're aggressive, but when you approach like that, you definitely have a better chance in doing well when you're at the plate, but you're also, showing that you do see the ball well. The strikeouts are low, so they're not just swinging at anything. They're hunting for the pitch that they want, and they can see it really well.
All right. So what do you see as the future of this program? Obviously we talked about Noah Sheffield, new recruits coming in. Where do you see this program heading in the next few years? Can they finally break through in this curse, which would be their 25th time to Omaha, if they could finally break through? What do you see as the future of this program under Link?
It's going to happen. I mean, we'll be back to Omaha. I think next year for sure. I don't know if it's going to happen next year. I think in the near future for sure. I think this year you saw Link not necessarily scrambling, but he didn't have much time to bring in his guys and really get in the transfer portal and find guys that he really wanted. Everything worked out, and he was able to really fill a lot of those roles, especially like having Cantu at first base. I know he didn't have the
from
best
USF.
game. Yep. I know that it wasn't the best game against Tennessee, but he was steady Eddie over there. That was a huge role he had to fill. So I think this year it was about like, I need to fill all of these different positions. I have holes. And I think moving forward with the program, his approach is now, okay, I need depth on my pitching staff, 100%. And now I know the type of players I want. I can be a little bit pickier about which ones I get. It's not just about like, I need. It's about, oh, I want you now. So, I think you'll see pitching like, the kid that you mentioned, it would be great to have some freshmen that he can really mold and bring those in, but also hit the transfer portal and have your select pick of which guys are going to fit into your system. Micah Posey is like so great. He's a genius. So I think he would work really well with anyone coming in. And then of course, on the offensive side of the ball, you got big holes to fill. You got James Tibbs and Cam Smith again. You got Jaime Career. You got all these guys, but you have a lot of talent coming back too. And I think a lot of the guys like Max Williams, Drew Furrow, some of these guys coming back, that Alex Lodi's really starting to see the ball well by the end of the season. So you have these guys who can now get better and also bring in the new guys that are more fit to what you are looking for.
Yeah. Well, maybe very much like the Mike Norvell upward climb, right? You start winning, and FSU is back, and now people see them in the College World Series. You mentioned the transfer portal. I mean, who wouldn't want to come play in Tallahassee in that atmosphere? It's, the place is packed all the time. You're in a great conference, or, for baseball anyway. Maybe in a better conference soon. So there's, I think Yeah, I think he'll have great success in the transfer portal. So we'll see. We'll see.
Emily, I'm an Aggie. So first of all, congratulations to the Noles. There's no shame in going out against Tennessee. They're arguably the best team for the better part of the season in college baseball nationally. And I watched the game. I thought Florida State put up a good fight. Had that unfortunate carom on the double play in the 8th that kind of sent the comeback the wrong way. But any predictions for A&M versus Tennessee here in the final series?
Well, just to go back really quick to kind of what you were saying, you mentioned the unfortunate play. I think
Can we talk about the check swing? Can we talk about the check swing? Can we just talk about that for a second?
We're not going back that far.
Yeah, let's go back to the check swing because that was the whole freaking Omaha series. Let's just be honest.
Okay, so the check swing, let's go back. So in my opinion, he went. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. He went. And we all know that. The thing that upset me the most about that was the announcers continued to say it was 50-50, it was 50-50. They wouldn't acknowledge, and they also wouldn't explain what to look for in that situation.
Right.
Like, I know what
Who do they work for, those announcers?
Well,
ESPN.
ESPN?
Yeah.
You have a long career ahead of you. You don't want to dog cuss them like we do. But ESPN, it was funny because at first they're like, oh, at first look, it's definitely live. It looked like he swung. But now that I've seen the replay and the producer came in my ear and reminded me it's Florida State and we're ESPN. Oh, no, he definitely didn't go. I mean, what a joke. Exactly. Didn't even. What's the rule? If the bat comes out more than halfway over the plate, it's a swing. His bat came all the way across the plate. So I don't know. That third base umpire.
It's bad broadcasting.
That third base umpire right next to the Tennessee dugout. You think he wanted to ring him up to end the game?
Well, and of course, we had the same third base umpire against our rematch against Tennessee. Did you see that?
No, I did not. The same dude?
Yeah. They stuck him in there again. I said, really? You had to do that? He could have gone anywhere.
Want that payment to go a long way. You want to, get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, great stuff. Thanks for checking in with us. And we'll we ever have any questions about FSU baseball, we'll ring you up. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Emily Peters there, FSU Baseball Insider. I will go to my grave with that one. That was and in College World Series.
I didn't get to hear her prediction though. You never let her talk long enough to get my prediction.
Oh my! Well,
I'll get her on Twitter. I'll hit her up. I want to get her on Twitter.
Well, she's going to say A&M, of course, because you're.
No, she's not. I could tell where she was going with it. And it wasn't A&M. I wanted her to say it though.
When does that start? By the way, tonight?
Tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Best out of 3?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. That's, in the College World Series, you got to win that first game. You got to win that first game. You lose that first game, you got to have 11% chance of winning the College World Series, which is not very good. So
it's probably
that was
the same as coming back down 0-3 in a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah. Damn near impossible. And it's just like, that was, FSU, frequently screwed university. Well, that's what needs to be changed too.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's our Hydrate Heroes Hero of the Week. So we will, we love doing this segment each and every week, highlighting some folks that are doing great things in the communities. So quick break. Stay with us. JP here for HydrateHeroes.com, the great electrolyte hydration drink that has all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. NFL players are using this stuff. All types of athletes are using it because it's got 5 calories. None of the bad stuff, all the good stuff. All the electrolytes are in there for you. And also Amla Fruit, which is a terrific additive in there. The mushroom blend helps with inflammation in your body. Definitely has helped me with my knees. My knee pain has gone away almost exclusively since I started drinking Hydrate Heroes. Folks, it makes a difference. I love it. Professional athletes love it. You will love it. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com and get a free 3-pack. That's tryhydrateheroes.com, a free 3-pack, and get the 30-pack while you're there for just $29.99. Tryhydrateheroes.com. You'll love it.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Summer is here, and it's the perfect time to shine with the exquisite June birthstones, pearl, alexandrite, and moonstone at the Golden Diamond Source. Each gemstone carries its own unique significance and style, making them perfect for any summer occasion. Did you know the 30th anniversary milestone is pearl, the traditional stone for this special occasion? And right now you can enjoy 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a stunning $5,000 ring and pay only $83 a month with zero interest for 5 years. That's a great deal. And shop online and get 15% off the June birthstones. And we love our partners, local businesses that have been here for 40 years. That's right, the Golden Diamond Source has been here for 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub have done so much in our community. We thank them, and we shop there. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Happy summer. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance, been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this fantastic Friday. And each and every Friday, we highlight one of the heroes in our community doing great things within the community. It's our Hydrate Hero of the Week, and the CEO of Hydrate Heroes, Michael Gardner, joins us right now to introduce our Hero of the Week. Good morning to you, Michael. How are you, my friend?
Hey, buddy. I'm good, man. Just mixing up a little Hydrate Heroes for a hot, blistering Friday. So how are you doing, bud?
Good. I'm enjoying the new flavors. Got them last week, and Ashley still says, like, how many of those things are you going to drink a day? I'm like, probably 4 to 6 a day that I drink because it's so hot outside. You got to stay hydrated, and it tastes great. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff, as we like to say. So, thanks for sending that over. Try hydrateheroes.com, folks. Go there, get your free 3-pack, and then order the 30-pack.
But today we're here for something really important, and again, like you said, our hero of the week. And I've known Mia for a little bit, and she actually works with Steve Harvey Foundation. So I think last week, I told you I was going to be up there, and what a great program, and just to see firsthand. I mean, the golf event was great, and everybody goes there, but again, I was invited to go to the ranch. That's where it's really, that's where it all happens. And Mia is one of the intricate parts of Steve Harvey's foundation and the ranch. What Steve does is he's put his own money. I mean, I'm talking about tens of millions of dollars into this ranch, and he takes, Father's Day weekend. These are kids with no father, and he mentors them, and he runs it like a military boot camp. So it's super
awesome.
Amazing what was going on. So actually, Mia, who actually works with him, is our special guest and hero of the week. And
bring her in.
First, bring her on.
Mia Ferguson joins us from the Home 2 Foundation. Also works with the Steve Harvey Foundation. Hello, Mia. Congratulations. You are our hero of the week.
Thank you so much.
You can put
Mike,
that on
you're
your
amazing.
resume now.
Hey, I can put it on my resume now. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you and all you do. Mike and I were talking about this last week about the ranch there and these boys, getting, men and ladies like yourself, leaders in the community, to pour into them and care about them. And I imagine the results are pretty amazing when you take kids out of bad situations and put them in good situations. As our friend Titus O'Neill loves to say, there's no bad kids. They're just kids in bad situations.
Absolutely.
And I think you probably see a lot of this. Can you give us some stories of these young men and how they turn their lives around when people pour into them?
Oh, wow. I mean, my history with children goes back to over 20 years. Just watching them having exposure to many different things. What Mr. Harvey does with that ranch, as Mike mentioned, over Father's Day weekend is absolutely amazing. These boys are specifically single products of single family homes, and so they don't have the paternal figure in their lives. And it's the Army, it's mentors, it's junior counselors, it's people in my who run the foundation, such as myself and my executive director, that take the time and just pour into them. And the stories that come from it are amazing. We have mothers that talk about how it changed their lives as far as their relationships with their sons. We have young boys who came in who have been products of the foundation for years, who came in as one thing and left as a pilot. We have doctors, we have people who own their own businesses, we have people who are successful in insurance, we have people who are successful in real estate. So it is truly a beautiful thing to see how much just a little bit of watering of a seed can really grow in these young boys. It's amazing. And we also do the same thing for young girls as well. My foundation, Home 2 Foundation, we focus specifically on veterans and young kids who are aging out of the foster care system. Again, another way to pour into the community, but to support. So when Mike asked me to come on and support, and I was so excited to accept the opportunity to be an affiliate of Hydrate Heroes because of the support that they do, the whole warrior mantra. It just spoke amazing. It just spoke to my heart.
Well, tell me a little bit more about the work you do with the veterans, because clearly, some of these families need help more than ever now.
Absolutely.
With inflation and, people in the military very much on a fixed income.
Yes.
It's hard to make ends meet. And especially for, sometimes, single moms, and it's tough. So tell me how your organization is helping out with those folks.
So we're working strategically to create the partnerships to be able to build affordable housing, which we all know that there's programs that the government has that they will support and provide the funding for the housing. I just don't think that enough people tap into those resources. My partner and I specifically have a very sensitive spot when it comes to veterans and kids aging out of the foster care system. And so when we see what the need is, our goal is to be able to build in multiple areas housing where we can say to the government, hey, listen, we have 20 houses, we have 30 houses, we have 100 houses that are specifically for veterans. And they don't have to be retired. They could be active duty or retired veterans, because we know the situations are different, right? Families abroad, so things of that nature. But that's our purpose. And then to wrap around services for them to help them transition into what this world outside of the military looks like for them. I just believe that people are not aware of the resources, and our job and our goal is to just scream from the mountaintops what the resources are.
Okay, well, let's tell people how they can get in touch with you and your group to get those resources.
Absolutely. So you can log on to Home 2 Foundation. That's HOMETOO Foundation.com. We have recently joined the affiliate program with Hydrate Heroes, and so that will be up shortly to support our fundraising for that. Our email address is info@home2foundation.com, and on our website you can contact us. You can just read more about us. We have other programs that we institute with regard to just wraparound services. We're trying to work to feed the veterans. Like, we're just working to be able to supply and support these people who risk their lives for us, and that's the whole purpose.
Well, Amia, thank you so much for all you do. And folks, take advantage of these resources. I know a lot of folks are out there hurting, but reach out and the home2foundation.com and get those resources and help yourself out. You got to make that call or send that email.
So one thing to Mia before you go, and I know you're tight on time, but just share. Like, I have a story, but one of the things we talked about a few weeks ago, JP, is it's not money that these kids need, just your time, just and words. And I have a story, but Mia, like, what's
go ahead.
one thing that
we got time, Michael? Go right ahead.
You know me. Once you get me going, you can't.
Go ahead.
Right.
The thing is, Mia, like, one of the things that was really moving for me, because man, I'm just these kids, man. You just feel the pain. You can see the pain, and just talking. I had a group of boys, and we were sharing the powder sticks. It was 90-something degrees up there in Atlanta. But I was just talking to the boys, and just asking them, going around a circle, hey, first time here, well, give me one thing that you've done here that you like. And they went around, and I had been talking to the boys for a minute, and it came. This one boy says to me, Mayo, he says, the best thing I've had is you talking to me. Just talking to this kid just made him feel connected. And, I was talking smack, though. I'm not going to lie. Like,
he was.
He had a basketball, and I'm like, look, man, where's the court? Because you don't want a piece of me. And that's how it all started, just that bantering. And
hopefully some life advice came after that. After
absolutely.
Ass in basketball.
All the way. You know me, once you give me, you just need their ear. Because once you get that ear, plant seeds. You don't know what's going to stick. It's just one mustard seed. And I think that's the message. So was there anything that jumped out to you, Mia, at the camp? Because I know there's tons of great work being done there.
So many things, but what I love to see the most, I'm a woman who had an amazing dad and has amazing dad. He's still here, thank God. But I love to see the camaraderie between boys and men. Yeah. And so this camp is typically it's all men, it's all boys, only boys allowed, right? But as a program director, obviously myself and my executive director, we had to be on site in the present. But nothing warmed my heart more than just seeing the older men embracing the younger boys just being so open to what the older men were saying. Like they just got to see what it looked like to be an older them.
Yeah.
And that to me, honestly, because I tried to respect the engagement rules that we have, that was the thing that just warmed my heart the most. Just seeing them enjoy themselves. Like every adult man out there got on that basketball court and came back with pain and suffering. Whether the boys were good or not. And we had the Cam Newtons of the world. We had athletes here, right? Like NBA, NFL athletes. But these young boys, we're talking about 14 to 18 years old, they had tons of energy. And I think that it also rejuvenated the youth in the older guys. So they got to kind of like relive those moments of being younger and supporting and supplying those conversations with the older. But so it was really just a wonderful moment, wonderful couple of days to just watch them be able to be kids and watch the men just be able to be men with the boys. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, I think our society in a lot of different ways has, kind of de-emphasized the importance of a male role model, and
absolutely
men aren't needed, and in this type nonsense. To me, and what the message we put out on this show is that the nuclear family is very important.
Very important.
And you've seen it. You guys have seen it. We're old enough to have watched kids grow up, and I'm not saying single parents can't do it. They do. Nope. My mom was very much that. And did as the best she could. And I see great single parents doing it all the time out of necessity. But if we have a choice, men, stay in the home, live up to your responsibility and be a man and be a father, because it makes all the difference in the world to those kids.
Absolutely.
And we want to promote that as much as we can. This can be done many ways.
Many ways.
But if we have a choice, men, do your job.
Absolutely.
Stay in the home, and because it makes such a huge difference to these, especially young boys. Young boys.
Well, I think that goes to the point of what this foundation is and the good work that Mia is doing with Home 2 Foundation. Like there's so much darkness out there that we need to be a light. We need to be a light of hope. And, that's where a lot of these boys, like, again, I call it pivotal moments, because it was my basketball coach in 10th grade that gave me a book, and that book changed my life.
Yeah, it happens.
Forward to where I'm at. And then what a cool little story. I didn't even know he was going to be there, but I did a double take. I'm like, man, that's Precious from the Knicks, man. Yeah. So he was out there. And anyway, him and I got talking, John Starks, whatever. And he calls me from Italy, man. I want to try your drink and da-da-da-da. And, I want to be a part of this. Because, just with our branding, our messaging, and who we stand for. Because I always go back to this. It's not about, Hydrate Heroes is about more than it's about a movement. It's about being healthy, drink healthy, be healthy. Because that's where you start making change. As a community, as individuals, we can all come together. And there's power in numbers. Again, renew the mind, renew the body. Iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man. And that's what it's going to take for us to make positive change. So I appreciate everything you're doing, Mia. And, man, I love you, and I appreciate you. And her and I are like this. Like, we just –
yeah, he's a good guy.
I can see
He's
that.
a good guy. He's a good guy. And Mike, just to say it again, what you're doing with the warrior message and all of the work that you're doing with Hydrate Heroes is so needed. Not just for the body, but for the mind and the spirit of all the people you're touching. You have a wonderful spirit, and I'm so grateful to have met you. And I look forward to doing the work that we're doing with you. And JP, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to highlight the work that I'm doing with the Harvey Foundation, highlight the work that I'm doing with my own foundation. And I hope this is not the last time that I see you.
Yes, come back anytime. You got some big event coming on. Let's give it some publicity. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mia, thank you so much. Mia Ferguson, home2foundation.com.
Thanks, guys.
And Michael, we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for all you're doing, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Have a great
weekend, gang. Bye. Yeah, man. I love this segment each and every week. It gets me fired up. I love it's one of the reasons I wanted to do this show for a long time is we used to do a thing called the Charity of the Week, and now this is what we're doing with Hydrate Heroes. So it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. If we're
awesome.
not making a difference, what are we doing out here? So, and especially with the, men, we did this with Titus O'Neil this past weekend. When we were promoting his Father's Day event, and met a lot of dads that are making a difference. And it's a big deal. All right, it does. We got time for one more. Let's take a break. We were one break behind anyway, so let's take one more break and come back. Got a couple other things I want to get into. A little Bucks talk. We haven't hit that. And good friend of mine, Gene Deckerhoff, coming back for another year with the Buccaneers. So we'll talk about that and much more when we return here on the JP Peterson Show. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete field production services. Our experience and expertise has you covered every step of the way wherever you want to go. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Make sure you head on over there to make him your primary care physician, as I have done, Scott Reynolds has done, Nick Geddes has done, Peter Blake has done. Tim, we got to get you on virtual. We could spend about 3 hours with you.
And it wouldn't be enough.
Just going over your blood work.
Oh, my God.
You're like, what the hell is that in there?
Why is it clear like bourbon?
He's got brown water coming out of his
brown
veins.
bourbon in his veins. I need more vodka is what it needs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, up your vodka intake. All right.
By the way, I heard from Emily. Just so everybody that's wondering. Of course, you picked Tennessee, and you know why? And it makes perfect sense. She's like, I just would like the team that ousted the Noles to be the eventual, to know that they were the champion would make her feel better. I was like, I get it, but they're going to lose. So I'm sorry for your loss.
I just, it's going to be an SEC champion. So,
and that's a good thing for baseball.
Just means more. Rick chiming in says, everything is okay when you marry a hamster. Then the hamster runs off with the yoga instructor and takes half your wheel or weed.
I thought it was jujitsu.
Thomas Casper said the affordable housing is by definition market rate. Yeah. And I can't wait till they get that deal done. It's going to be fantastic. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Rick says, that's right, JP. Let out that stadium anger, just like Fairbanks smashing things in the bullpen. No.
Yeah, you need an IKEA stool to smash here on camera.
No, I'm at peace with it now. No, I'm at peace with it.
I don't know that you are.
No, it's not my money, not my baseball team. I got too many other things to worry about, like the Lightning and the Buccaneers, and
right.
It just, I will say it has, and I think a lot of Rays fans have said this on Twitter and on this show as well, is that it's kind of robbed our enjoyment of, like, my love of baseball, Major League Baseball, has been stolen in a lot of different ways. And that's sad, because I love the Rays. I mean, I grew up, baseball was my first love, my first sport love. And, playing baseball was one of the joys of my life, and rooting for a baseball team is one of the joys of my life. I was so into watching that FSU Tennessee College World Series game. Like, every pitch, everything was like, when you're into a baseball game, you're emotionally involved. And then the check swing happened. I was crushed again.
So growing up in South Florida, then the Braves? Was that your team?
Actually, I was a Reds fan.
Okay.
I was a Reds fan because
of the TV access, right?
Just because they were on Game of the Week every Saturday. The Big Red Machine, when I was becoming of age to understand stuff. 70, 71, 72.
Me too. Same thing. Yep.
Big Red Machine. And so, I mean, see it right behind me. There it is.
Yeah.
The whole Big Red Machine.
I couldn't get a Rangers game on TV till I was in high school because they were on cable, and my dad didn't have didn't have cable. So I got to watch the teams that were on network TV in the 70s and the 80s, and it was always the freaking Reds, right?
Yeah, the Big Red Machine. So I became a Reds fan. The Baltimore Orioles did train down here, and so we went to see, and the Yankees trained in Fort Lauderdale for a long time as well. So those were the spring training homes. Not that my dad ever took me to a spring training game or anything.
Oh, we're getting into Father's Day feelings here.
Yeah, sorry. But I love, we grew up playing baseball. Like, everybody grew up playing baseball. We'd go down, we'd do pickup games. We'd go down to the park, and, a bunch of us would just sit there and hit balls and shag balls. We didn't have batting cages or anything. We just, pitch to each other and hit, 25 baseballs out, go pick them up and do it again.
Yep.
Played stickball, played a lot of stickball. That's my hand-eye coordination started with literally a broom handle and a tennis ball.
Yep.
If you can hit a tennis ball with a broom handle,
pretty
you're
good.
Be a pretty good hitter. You're gonna be a pretty good hitter. That's a good way to learn how to hit a baseball. So yeah, loved it growing up. And then, this whole nonsense is kind of taking the joy out of it for me, unfortunately.
Something interesting when we were talking to Steve and he was talking about, how hitters adapt and how hard it is to hit a pitch and your reaction time and stuff. And I remember that kind of jogged my memory. I remember seeing an MLB instructional video from like 1983 or 84 with Pete Rose.
Yeah.
And he was talking to, at the time, high school kids about, batting and how he approaches the bat and the plate. And he goes, you go to the plate and you always anticipate a fastball or whatever the pitcher's fastest pitch is. Normally it's a fastball, right? He goes, because then you can adjust. If you're anticipating a fastball, then you can adjust your reaction time to whatever else you see. If you go up and you anticipate the curveball and he throws you a fastball, well, by the time you figure out what's happening, it's too late and you're swinging, behind the pitch and you're already out. So
great approach. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great approach, man. And I'm sure that's not groundbreaking advice to anybody that knows the game, but for some reason that jogged, and I probably hadn't seen that video in 40 years. Right. But it like jogged my memory when he was talking about that.
Well, Wade Boggs talks about his dad taught him weight, like, put your weight back and then wait on the pitch as long as you can. And then, and that's why he was an opposite field hitter.
Yeah.
You get that extra split second to make a decision and be able to hit it to left field. And of course, when he played in Boston, that was tailor-made for his swing, just knocking it off the big monster, green monster. So, yeah, it's a lot of different philosophies, and being a great hitter is probably 20% philosophy and 80% just great ability, hand-eye coordination. That's a good part about it. Hey, we haven't talked a lot of Bucks today, and I don't have a whole lot of time, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Kalen DeLoach, FSU kid, who the Bucks got as a free agent. And he's had a great OTAs. Levante David was talking about him the other day. Peter Report did a great spot on him as well. He's really, really, as an undersized linebacker, of course, Levante loves him for that. Brings back the thoughts of Derek Brooks and Levante himself. And those guys with great instincts for the ball. And he showed that a lot at Florida State, making big play after big plays. The guy who won the Clemson game with the forced fumble and scoop and score. And he has really opened a lot of eyes. So, not only have the Bucks drafted well, but that's a young man who really, I think, is going to find a place on this team and eventually become a starter. And we're a guy, and it's a rotation, a chess piece, as Todd Bowles likes to talk about, that he can use in certain ways. His speed, his instincts, his undersizedness can help him in a lot of different ways. So that's definitely a guy to watch for this upcoming season. We're going to be doing a lot more in the Bucks as we head up towards training camp here, and taking segment by segment and looking at what's coming up for the Buccaneers. All right, anything else we missed today, partner?
I don't know, man. We covered a bunch, didn't we?
We sure did.
Rick thinks my blood type is ragu. And you know what? I do eat a lot of pasta and sauce. I'm not going to disagree, Rick. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Right on. You're right on.
My Italian heritage.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, enjoy Game 6 tonight. And when will Game 7 be Sunday? Or they're taking like 3 days off.
No, they wouldn't do that, would they? Well, you got to travel, right?
Yeah, 3,500 miles, whatever the hell it is.
I don't know. It's a shame we don't have any way to confirm that.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, let's get through Game 6 tonight. That should be fun. The Rays heading to Pittsburgh for the weekend. Was it 5:40 start today?
Game 7 would be Monday.
Oh, a Monday. A Monday Game 7, just like the Lightning did in 2004, 20 years ago.
There you go.
All right, traveling from Canada to Florida.
Jeez, who wants to do that?
That was Calgary to Florida. Now it's Edmonton to Miami.
Yeah.
So, well, let's hope the outcome is not the same. The home team does not win a Game 7. That will be fun to watch. We'll be here on Monday to break it all down for you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. We will be back with more fun and frivolity on Monday.
F you, F you, F you, and F you. Peace out.
You had to do it, didn't
Rob
you?
McGinnis. F you.